Welcome back. I'm Dika from Dika's Outdoors. Glad you chimed in. I'm going to do a review on a soft plastic lure that's mainly used for topwater, and it is called the Stanley RiBbit. It's wonderful. A few years back, a friend turned me on to them, and I was surprised at the ease and how easy it is to catch bass with them. It is a straight retrieve and nothing more. You don't need anything else. You just need it at a certain speed. So there's different colors. This is a white one. This one it's like a green with a black and red flake. See it? And then this one is a red flake and with a black top. When he initially introduced me to them, this is the one he used, and it's probably still the one he uses. Since then, I've become partial to the white. I'm not sure if one is better than the other, but all the frogs that I use now are white. Occasionally I'll use this one, and I will hardly ever use this one. But anyway, so again, the Stanley RiBbit. It is a soft plastic. They call it a buzz frog because these little feet, they catch the water. And if you fish it at the correct speed, it makes a plopping sound. It will be like plop, 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 all the way through the water. It doesn't make this huge splash or wake or anything, but there's something about that plopping sound that attracts bass. I don't know what it is, but it works. So this, you'll see on the package that it says garlic scented. Ugh, they smell like garlic. A lot of plastics will have scent or even salt in them. Salt is usually for the weight. I personally don't think that the scent attracts any more fish, but there's got to be something to it. There's so many lures that have scent in them, and they sell scent, tons and tons of scent, and I'm sure that predator fish are attracted by scent. I do think that it may, if a bass bites it, and it may cause it to hold on a little longer if it's scented. That's my take on it. I'm not sure if there's anything to it. All right, so without further ado here, we have the Stanley RiBbit, the buzz frog. There's multiple ways to rig it, and I will show you. So there's this hook, which is what's the best way to see this? So it's an offset hook. I think this is a 2 or 3/0. You can even go bigger. Then there is a worm hook, which is also offset, which was kind of like the traditional Texas rig hook before manufacturers just started making ridiculous amount of hooks. And then there is a swim bait hook right here. It's not offset, but it has this little screw-in piece on the top. You see that? Screw-in piece on the top that's going to screw right into the bait. Now, Stanley, when they tell you to rig it, I don't know if you can see this on the back of the package, they have a 2-hook system sold by Stanley, and they want you to rig it that way. It also has a hook keeper on it. I'll post a picture of that right about here so you can see that. I personally do not like this system. I think it inhibits the way that the frog swims. That's just my opinion. I like just the offset hook, not the worm hook. I think that the worm hook, this little piece right here, I think it sits too high on the back of the frog and will catch more things. Ideally, we want this rig to be weedless. So I rig it very similar to a Texas rig. So I'll put it right in the top here, like this. And oops, look at me, I'm doing it wrong. We want it to go this way. We want the belly facing the hook down like this, right to that point, and then we pull it out, like so, down the hook. Once you reach that little spot there, we're going to twist it, go right over that piece, which is going to leave your piece out like that. And then we're going to, the best way to do this is very similar to a Texas rig. You're going to find that little spot. I don't know how well I can do this on camera here. This little spot right there. So that's where you want your hook to go in. So normally you have to bend the plastic to get it in. So you're going to bend the plastic like so, and you're going to stick that hook right in there. And so, and it fits right inside there like that. So if you can see, I'll use the white one. Hopefully I can show you. See that little groove right there? That's where you want your hook to fit in there. That's why I think that this flat hook is going to fit in there much better than this rounded hook. That's just my opinion. All right, so back to this. I put it in there. Now, a lot of people will tell, Stanley will even tell you to skin hook it. What that means is you sort of, you push it, the bait up like this, and then you pull it down over the hook so that the point of the hook is covered completely and makes it completely weedless. So you can't see anything. This would swim absolutely perfect. There's no problems with it. So we have that one. And then here is the swim bait hook. Ideally how you do that is there's a little, I don't know if you can see it, at the top of it there's a little flat point. And you want to you have to push it in at first to get it started. It just takes more technique than the actual Texas rigging. There's so many ways that you can screw this up. You know, if it's not perfectly, sorry, I'm not on camera. If it's not perfectly on the center, and you have to rig it to a certain point, because if you screw it too far, then the hook's going to be in the wrong direction. So I could probably go another turn, but I'm not going to. So you have it like this, same idea. So your hook's going to go in right there. You bend that bait, and you push it through. So yeah, it was a little off. I don't know if you can see that groove. The groove was a little off there. So I'm going to pull it out. And I go in again. Hopefully I get it. And it's a little better. Not perfect. But that fits. I mean, that fits flush too. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good. But I personally think that this bait keeper on the front causes it to wobble in the water, sometimes spin. And if you can see the angle there, I don't know if you can. You can't really. Well, you can. It's not completely in the center, and it's going to cause it to maybe pull to one side. And unless you're perfect at putting that in, I guess it'll be a better hookup. But for me, I like this one. It's simple, it's easy, and if you have to change baits out, you don't have to go screwing anything in, especially if the frog bite is on. If the frog bite is on like Donkey Kong, you want to get another frog on there as quick as you possibly can, because it's not going to last all day. When that frog bite is on, you want that frog in the water, running through those lily pads or grass or whatever it is. So anyway, that's on like Donkey Kong. That's good. So then we have the worm hook. It's the same setup right through the top there. I'm trying to watch you and watch my fingers at the same time. Pull it through the bottom, like so. See that? To the bottom. And then we're going to pull it all the way down, like so. Once we get to that offset area, we're going to twist it around so the hook is like this. So now that, because it's not flat, it's a little harder. And I actually think that this particular one, it might be a little too long. So I'm going to put it in anyway. So we'll stick it right in the bottom. Oopsie. And we'll set it in. But I don't know if you can see. Let me try to find a good angle here. That hook, it doesn't sit flush, because it's not flat. It's not flat like this one. Let's find a good angle here. There you go. You can see it. You can see that. The light sucks in That's my fault. But anyway, it doesn't sit flush. And obviously you can try all this out for your own purposes. But my advice is an offset hook. I think it's called an EWG, where it has that flat right there. I'm not sure if it's a wide gap. I will do a review on hooks when I learn myself. I don't know them all, but this is what you want, in my opinion. So you have that offset hook, like this. It sits flush in there, and when that bass bites this, it's going to push down right here, and it's going to expose that hook. And you're going to hook those bass. So your hookup ratio is going to be really, really good. Now, there's one thing good about these frogs. Most topwater frogs that I know of float. This does not. It's a slow sinking, soft water bait, topwater. So if you remember me earlier talking about the speed, so if you're going to fish this on a bait caster, you want something with a faster gear ratio. That will work better for you. If you're setting it up on a spinning rod, then you just want to reel faster until you get these legs to activate and get that plopping noise. That's what you want. You want plop, 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 plop. And when you fish it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to go plop, 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 plop. You like that? I'll do that one more time. Plop, 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 plop. Anyway, that's very exciting. Anyway, but that's going to be, you can pull this through grass, you can pull this through weeds, you can throw this in under trees or bushes. It's completely weedless. So use it that way. You're going to be able to throw this in places that you can't throw it. Now, why I think this is a hidden gem? Because it has a characteristic that I don't think that you can use with other frogs or other sort of buzz baits even. When a bass comes up and blows up on this and shoots at it and misses, when it misses, you see the blow up and then you see your lure go one way and the wake goes the other way. This has the ability to sink, so you just leave it alone. You use it just like a follow-up bait. If you don't know what a follow-up bait is, I'll be doing a video on that. But a follow-up bait is when you get a blow up, and rather than let this sit on top like another frog, you reel it in real quick, and then you throw something slow and sinking right at it. Maybe the bass thinks that they wounded it, and they come back for it. I want to say 70 to 80% of the time, you're going to get a hit if you get a blow up and you just leave it alone, and you just let it sink back down, and then you keep an eye on your line, and the line's going to go taut, and you're going to get a fish. Now, whether or not it's the same fish, you never know, but I think it's the same fish. The follow-up baits, all the experts, they say it's the same fish. We do know that they travel in schools, but it's the same fish. Either way, you get a fish. So, Stanley RiBbit, Texas rigged. It's garlic scented. Try it. It works. I guarantee that it works. Only because I've used it myself. And when I was turned on to it, I was relatively novice. A friend of mine named Bruce, he just said, try this. He showed me how to rig it up, and I ended up catching fish all day. But the topwater bite has to be on for it to work. So you can use it late spring, summer, fall too. Obviously, I'm from New England, so everything turns to ice around here in the wintertime, so we're not using any topwater baits. We're drilling holes in the ice and standing on it like dum-dums. Anyway, I'm too fat. I don't stand on the ice. Fat people don't belong on the ice. Anyway, so Stanley, RiBbit, get some. They'll work. You'll catch some fish. All right? Thanks for tuning in. I love you all. Subscribe, like, and ring that bell. I'll see you another time later on.